Truth Talkers, welcome back to another episode of Teattime Truth Talk with your host, Alicia, and my father,
Rev Rich.
And as always, we have another great episode for you today, and a little cool announcement that I have as well. But before we get to that, as always,
subscribe, like, share this out to someone who may need it, as well as hit that bell so you know that when we drop another video.
So the little cool announcement I have is that this will be the last episode. Not the last episode of the show, but the last episode where I will be a teenager, because on May 12th, I will officially be turning 20. Woohoo! So I'm a little excited about that. But getting on to the topic, today's topic is first road trip. And I figured this was a great topic to come to because of the fact that summer is coming and we always take our trips and have summer vacations. And I got this situation from my friend because she found out that I had taken a trip last year and she's getting the chance to do the same. So the situation goes like this. I have officially turned 18 and summer is coming up. I am super excited because my parents are allowing me to go on my first no parents trip to Seattle, Washington. This is my first trip and I am in charge of planning with the help of the girls who come with. But honestly, I don't know where to start.
What that got to do with me?
Well, they ask, we answer. So,
all jokes aside, I mean, again, I know it's nerve-wracking. You know that I was a martial arts teacher for many years. So at the age of 17 and 18, I was traveling to Las Vegas. I was traveling to Washington, D.C. Because of the tournament scenes. And a lot of times it wasn't even me going to fight. It was me taking students. Mm-hmm. But it does get nerve-wracking. So in my case, I didn't have a lot of parental guidance, so I had to kind of figure it out on my own. But in your, when you get used to having somebody taking care of things for you, it does become nerve-wracking. So basically the start is, you know where you're going, use your judgment. I mean, again, you know me, I'm as frugal as they come. So... and it's not even that. I look at it this way, especially like for me, a favorite place for me is Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. And it's not because I'm a gambler. The attractions, the shows, everything's great. So why am I going to spend, $500 a night at a hotel because I'm not going to spend it at the hotel where I could go find a hotel? And I'll be honest, it was probably about 10 years ago. So prices I'm sure are up. But I ended up finding a hotel on the Strip, airfare for $408 per person. So that's the first thing, is budget out how much money you have and then figure it out from there. Sounds like a road trip, sounds like you're driving. Now, I don't know if that's the case or not.
I don't know. She hasn't gotten that far.
Okay. So if they're not driving, whatever the case is, you want to be frugal because you want to keep as much money on you as well. Make sure your IDs are up to date, make sure whatever, and that you have the right contacts. Because again, anything can happen. And it's not about worrying. It's about, making good judgments while you're out there. Because everybody wants to have fun, So, a lot of times when we're 18, we turn, it's like, oh God, no parents, I can do what I want. And we do stupid things. So we want to make sure that if we're planning it, 1, you know the destination. 2, where are you staying? 3, if you're staying, are you staying in the same room? Are you staying whatever? 4, everybody understands, safety precautions, what's going on. And no, I'm not saying don't do anything fun because, we must stay in the lane, but, but you want to make sure that you're doing the right things. You don't want to do something that's going to get you arrested or thrown out of somewhere or, God forbid, drunk and something happens. You know what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that you use your head in what you're doing. And if you can plan an itinerary, even though it may change once you're out there, I would do that as well. Hey, Monday's coming. Monday morning, we're going to get up at this time. We're going to go have breakfast, blah, 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 and just keep going so that, God forbid, somebody's lost or somebody's whatever, you know where you are on the itinerary.
That's very true.
So again, it could, like I said, itineraries change because you may get out there, find out that there was an attraction you wanted to see that now is closed. For me in Vegas, I went to, I'm trying to remember where it was, but they had the Star Trek a Star Trek exhibit where you literally could go on the captain's chair and everything. And I
Nice.
literally arrived one day before the final closing of the event. So when I got there, the gates were, I was able to see it, but I wasn't able to go in and
Oh,
participate, you know. So you definitely want to know that things will change, but you want to stay safe. You want to stay that, have fun. I mean, nobody's telling you not to, but you know, especially because you're coming from a point in your life where you're used to your parents taking care of everything and now you're doing it on your own, is that it's easy to say, oh, I'm an adult now and I'm going to go do stuff, where you want to go out there with the option of, I am an adult now, I'm going to go do stuff and I'm going to do it right. Because again, I've pretty much been on my own since about 17. So
I ain't leaving. I'm not leaving.
So I definitely know what it is to be young and take on a lot of responsibilities and stuff. And when it hits you like a brick house, you're like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas there is that fine line of, yes, I can take care of myself now, but let me take the safe road and say, okay, I'm going to have fun, but I'm going to make sure that I'm doing the right thing.
Definitely true. A lot of things he said is absolutely true. We're definitely going to touch more on each part. The one of the funny things is that the one thing that my mom always says to me, whether I'm going out to hang out with friends or going on a trip or anything like that, she always says this saying that I still follow by till this day is be safe, be smart, have fun. And I follow that rule, and I hope you guys follow that to a T as well, because that is the way to enjoy life, but also be safe when you're out there in the big world. One of the things I definitely want to talk about first is the people, because when I went on my trip, now see my trip was kind of funny because it was kind of a spur of the moment. I quit my job. I broke up with my boyfriend, and then my best friend called me and went, "You want to take a trip to Connecticut? Free of charge. I'm paying for the hotel and everything. You just need to come with me." And I was like, bet. But even though we did have a great time, we are definitely two different types of people. So I would definitely look around when you're choosing the type of people you're going to bring with, even if it is your whole group of friends. Definitely pick and choose who will have the same kind of wavelength as you. Where with me and my friend would rather go out for an hour and then spend the rest of the time in a hotel. Whereas me, I'd rather spend the whole day doing different things, seeing different places, and looking at like the crystals and little shops and little towns and things. Whereas she's the person who will just go shopping for an hour and then spend the rest of the time at home. So it was kind of hard to like accommodate the both of us. I mean, if you do have that situation, definitely pick times to do different things that both of you can enjoy, and uh, learn new things when you do different things as well. But to have a fun time and not have anyone being miserable, definitely try to find people that have the same interests, or at least similar interests, so that way everyone can enjoy themselves. Because there was times where it's like I wanted to do a lot more, but she was like, I'm ready to go home and take a nap, or ready to go home and just watch a movie. And then there was times where she was with me where we spent the whole day out. So that is definitely one of the big things I definitely recommend, is see who's coming and what kind of interests you all have. Because you don't want somebody who wants to stay at a hotel the entire vacation where everybody else wants to go out. Because then you're going to be sitting there worried or upset at the fact that she or he, depending on the trip or the people, they're not doing anything. Because then that's not fun. And then that's a waste of a spot that somebody else could have had, or that just ruined the time for them to do something that they liked. So that's definitely a big thing. Another thing, like he said, definitely have set a budget. Um, no, I don't want you to be going into one of those motels that make you feel like you're going to be in Psycho. Because, we took a trip to Kansas City and we had to make a stop at a motel. And even though he can be like, oh, yeah, covers comfy, Mom and I were not having it. We were not. We had our clothes on. We laid on top of the bed. The covers weren't moved. He put on his pajamas. He got under the. I was like, no.
Remember that episode about perspectives?
No. I mean, you can if you want, but I'm definitely not that person. But definitely, you do not need this luxurious $5,000 hotel room that you're going to spend 2-3 nights in. Definitely something simple and accommodating. I think we went to the Micro Hotel or something. I forgot what kind of hotel it was.
Microtel.
Probably. But it was super nice and it was super affordable, and we were there for a good week, and it was not expensive. I think the most we spent for all 5 nights were about like $1,000. So it's not even that crazy. And it's not even just the fact that you're at the hotel. You're on vacation to have fun and experience new things and try new things and experience the place that you're at. I mean, some people enjoy the beach and sit the whole vacation on beaches. I'm a person who likes to go to different fairs and stores and craft shows and things like that. So is my mom. So definitely set a budget for the things, especially on spending money too, because of the fact that you will say you have this much, and then you get to the place and one thing will be like half your spending money. Like, no, don't do that unless it's necessary, because I've done that and it's Disney related. I've done that, but you got to realize that you have to make that work. Another thing as well, I'm trying to think based off my trip from what we did. Don't knock off all the dinners. Like, you do not need to go to, again, $5,000 restaurants or anything. Listen, a good McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, or look. Weirdly enough, we found a hotel right next to Chili, so that was our main spot the entire time.
And not even that. If you really think about it, we're both fans of the food channels.
Love the
There's
food channel.
there is a show, and I think it's on the cooking channel. It's an old show. They haven't played it in a while, but I think the episodes are still there. And it's basically a guy who takes $20 and spends an entire day finding the spots. And a lot of times you can go to those shows and find the area you're going to be in and actually watch it, and you'll hit certain spots. Another thing is talk to the locals, because, again, we're in Pennsylvania, and Philadelphia is known for the Philly cheesesteaks. But when you talk to the locals, when you talk to the tourists, there's 2 big places to go for Philly cheesesteaks. But when you talk to the locals, they tell you don't go to those places. Go to, and there's these little mom and pop places.
Yep.
You know, even in Pennsylvania, I was with someone, and we were down in the Allentown area. I found a Puerto Rican restaurant that had the best food I ever had, and it was an old converted garage converted into a restaurant. So, you know, you try to use that as well to save money, because Chili's is great, but Chili's is still commercial pricing.
I just gotta say though, their mountain lava cake thing they had, so good, so good. That was off topic, but they were really good. But yeah, honestly, he's also right, because there was definitely different places we tried as well when we were over there in Connecticut, and I'm trying to remember what the other thought was. Lost my thought. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Definitely set a budget and make sure you know what you're spending on food. Even then, most times if you get a pretty nice, like if you get like an Airbnb or like one of those housing things, or even a more modern size room, you can easily cook in your room. Some hotels actually have the kitchens and stuff where you don't even have to go out. You can just cook yourself. And sometimes home cooking is a lot better than going out to eat. I know firsthand. But definitely that. And then all in all, pretty much just make sure you have fun. Because it's like you're so stressed about planning it and making sure everyone else has fun. You also have to make sure you're having fun as well. Because there was a couple times where it was like planning the trip. We didn't really have an itinerary until we got there. So it was kind of like me as the planner. It was like, okay, let's make things work that she's having fun and I'm having fun and blah, 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 that I almost forgot that I also need to make sure I'm actually enjoying what we're doing. And so sometimes I was like, stop, and had to have someone else take the reins and be like, you figure out what we're doing for today because I've planned out pretty much the whole week. You pick what we're doing. She almost came close to me having a tattoo, so we kind of stopped her from planning things, but things like that. Also, suggestions from other people would help you in the planning process as well, because they might have done something there once before that they think you would enjoy, or they want to try something new that you might end up enjoying as well, being different and things like that. But definitely make sure you're having fun as well, because what's the point of going on the trip if you're not having fun, especially with your friends and whoever else is going with you. Am I missing anything?
I think the only thing left, and it's the one thing that nobody wants to talk about, is being safe. I mean, it's okay to be cordial, it's okay to be friendly, but trust your instinct. I mean, we talk about that here, or whether I'm talking about, our unity teachings or whatever, we talk about trusting your gut, more or less, that divine instinct, that whatever you want to call it. But there's always that small voice inside of you that tells me something's wrong. Now, I'm not talking about that panic voice. If you're one of those people that everybody's trying to get you, we can help you with that. But that's not the point here. What I'm talking about is, you come out of a restaurant, it's dark, and all of a sudden, two people come and talk to you and they just seem to be very pushy and friendly, and something inside of you is saying, this doesn't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
Then hey, let me go back into the restaurant for a moment. If you're waiting for a cab or something, go back into the restaurant, go back into wherever you were. If somebody, is asking for directions, especially if you're in a new town, just immediately say, well, I wish I could help you, but I'm not from this area, and walk away. Because I've seen robberies that have happened because people trusted somebody. Oh, yeah, I can help you. We just got off the highway, so it's got to be that way, that way, that way. And by the end of it, God forbid, so we don't want you getting hurt, especially being young. So you want to make sure that you're on your toes and trust your instinct. Because again, and it's like she said, the people around you, remind them of the same thing. Because you always have those people in your group who's like, oh no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. And then when something happens, it's not their fault. But something had told them and told you before it happened that you shouldn't be in that situation. So that's the last thing I would say, is you need to remember to keep a mentality of being safe.
So again, he is absolutely right. Please, please, please be safe. So to pretty much summarize, so you can give you step by step to help you on your trip, and anyone else who's watching this who's also planning a trip, definitely have an itinerary. It helps. It keeps you on track. Plus, if someone does get lost, you can backtrack from where you were. Definitely have a budget. Having a budget will help you keep a money mentality mindset, so that way you know how much you're spending and how much you shouldn't be spending, things like that. Definitely pick and choose the right people who will come on the trip, because you want to have fun and you don't want people sitting out or not doing anything and then you're sitting there worried. That's not the point of the trip. So definitely have the same wavelength to some people that come on the trip. And as always, definitely be safe. And as my mom says, and I will drill it in your heads now and for forever, be safe, be smart, and have fun. And I hope this helps. And I hope you enjoy your trip. And I definitely want to see pictures on the social medias and the Instas. And anyone else who's also taking a trip. And as always, if we haven't told you lately or at all, we love you. Nothing you can do about it. And we'll see you next time.